Howdy, y'all. My name is Emilio, and I'm going to be responding to James Baker's debate post for debate number 3 regarding the border wall and whether or not it's beneficial for United States national security. Now, first off, I appreciate James for making this post, even though he said himself that it was against his personal viewpoint, because it's much harder to argue for the border wall for some very clear reasons. Now, he does make some valid points in regards to the border wall being potentially more effective in terms of cost long term, as well as the general benefits it could have in terms of protecting people from illegal labor. However, I think that there are far too many drawbacks for the border wall, specifically pertaining to human security, not just traditional national security, that make it a non-viable option in terms of increasing national security within the United States. Now, firstly, when it comes to the border wall, if you look at it, you think about a wall, you think about traditional benefits of having a wall in terms of your traditional form of national security, which is just general protection. And the wall itself is just not that effective of an idea for that specific purpose. Because, for one, the terrain at which the wall is supposed to go across is extremely difficult for structures such as a wall to be constructed on. So, there are places where, say, a fence or a wall could simply not be built, and for that reason, already it creates easy gaps to get across if you were to be using it for that traditional purpose. Now, another reason that the wall has been supported is that it's supposed to cut down on illegal drug trafficking. The issue is that even with the fence that's been put up, traffickers have found multiple ways around it. It's really not that hard. They've created potato launchers to send things over. They use ladders, catapults, tunnels, and more importantly, more drugs cross through legal checkpoints in the border than they do by being thrown over the border or secretly moved across. So, in building a wall, you're not really doing much to prevent drug trafficking. Now, there was a point brought up by James regarding the fact that the wall could be more effective long term, and I simply don't believe it could be in terms of cost. And the reason being is that, while granted, if you have less staff personnel patrolling the border wall over a significant period of time, that could reduce costs. The initial cost for building the wall far exceeds anything that we have spent on border security or will for a very significant amount of time. Seeing as the cost is up in the billions, it's really just not a feasible economic investment for the United States. It's just not smart. It doesn't make any sense. Now, he also brings up a decent point that long term, this will prevent exploitation of migrant workers, therefore benefiting human security. But the thing is, the wall is simply not the most effective way of going about this. Because while, yes, it could potentially halt the flow of migrant workers, thereby making employment of legal immigrants and exploitation of their labor a bit more difficult, there's a far more simple way of going about this, and that's simply actually actively regulating and policing it. If you were to, say, implement specific policies that prevent exploitation and then actively enforce and police those, you've just done the work that the wall is supposed to do for far less money and causing far less controversy. Because if you simply legally police it through legislation, you are not stirring up any signs of hate speech or anything like that, which the wall has been inciting for the past few years now. That's been an actual topic of conversation. The wall itself has the talk of the wall itself has done nothing but diminish human security within the United States by generating more racial tension surrounding concepts of racism towards Hispanics, Latin immigrants, and generally creating just a very unfavorable culture towards immigrants, which this country supposedly is very proud of their immigrants, yet they also at the same time are very opposed to select groups that attempt to seek legal entrance, making it more difficult. So in reality, the wall only makes it more difficult to allow entrance for immigrants, thereby accompanying that with Trump's more restrictive visa policies. It actually incentivizes illegal immigration, not the other way around. Thank you.